Someone made training during this day. Just I understand that Laura is done, but maybe someone else.
No. Елизавета, мы спрашиваем, удалось потренировать или не получилось?
У меня в процессе. Я взяла Collab Pro, и она у меня сейчас в процессе тренировки.
Сколько времени уже тренируется? Давно?
С тем учетом, что я сначала не приобрела Collab Pro, она у меня сейчас тренируется часов 8.
Хорошо. А ты смотрел уже результаты, что получается? Там же можно смотреть по результатам, во времени смотреть, что он там выдает. Потому что, возможно, то есть нужно следить. Сейчас я могу показать. Ну, я еще раз покажу, может быть, этот момент повторю.
Yeah, maybe it's worth.
Да, если можно.
So what Ed is going to show, he's going to show. The thing is that Елизавета, she said that she's training her model already for 8 hours, and Ed said that it's worth looking into during the process, so during training process. So he's going to show again how to do that. So you can see like maybe Laura, that's answer to your question. How long is a good time? Maybe whilst you're checking, like after 4 hours, if it's already a good result, like it's result you're happy with. I mean, it's all depend on what you see.
Actually, I also started training for two more models. Maybe several hours, maybe 4 or 5 hours ago, and actually in my progress I see that I have just 30 epoch of the training, and one for one model and for second model too. And maybe I repeat how we can start again your training after it was interrupted by some reason. Maybe you if you are close your PC or Mac, or you can after the several time, maybe after the 1 hour, 2 hours, Collab sees that you are not do anything with your computer and freeze your training, interrupt the training, and it's can be done, and the interruption can be done by the timing in Collab after the several hours is interrupted by itself. And but when you can start to train again based on the model which you have already trained, how it's worked. If you go to the train algorithm in Google Colab, you can remember that you are put path to your model here in this cell, which named resume, and if you we, as you remember, we used for first time used a model pre-trained model which we download from someone else but when you make when you training your model, you can see in the folder of the training like this one. I will remember. I remember for you that if you are make a folder inside the style gun my models and make a folder for your model, it's automatically create the when it start train. It's automatically create a folder with the this number as this first step of the training, and the name which show which shows which similar to the folder, and some parameters for the training. And inside this folder you can find samples of the which generated from the training models, and you can see the files of the models. All of these 4 files with the extension PKL, it's model style gun models, and for each of them automatically generated sample of the images, like this one. It's my 40 epochs, and actually when you need to restart your training, you just need to use the path to not the first model, but this file of the model. I mean that you go to this cell in the style gun train collab, and the replace, and of course you need to find the your current model, last one model. Like in my case, it's maybe it will be something like this. For example, for example, and copy the path and pass here to the resume, and after this, when I started to train, it will begin from this point, this snapshot of the model. And in this time, how you can see here, it's create a second folder, a third folder, and so on, and with the next number, and this is next step of the your model. And actually, it is a good. It's a one way to train the model during the long period of time. Because
you do it bits by bits, right?
Yes. Because without this, actually, of course, in my experience, in my practice, I see that you need to about 3-5 days to see the good result of the of the generation generated images from the model which was trained. And of course, it's very you don't have time to do this, and actually because of that we actually use not so good examples, but when maybe after our workshop, you during the whole of last day and next day after, you can train your model and create your volumes and sculptures after that again, and maybe you can share with us your material, your materials. That's it. Я повторю, может быть, для Елизаветы, что для того, чтобы дотренировать модель, если у вас случится какой-то прервется за какой-то причине тренировка, а нужно для этого проверять, собственно, что происходит вот здесь вот в директории, где в папке, куда сохраняются все ваши.
Да. Ага,
Вот. Если он там идет процесс, ну, он видно, что он идет, просто если как бы вы видите, что там час примерно не было никакого, час
обновление.
больше. А?
Ну, если, то есть, не было обновления, да, то есть не
Ну да, то
попал.
вы можете видеть, что да, значит надо явно прервался процесс, и вы можете перетренировать. Но это еще на самом деле видно будет, потому что у вас здесь должен крутиться, по идее, ну сейчас у меня из-за того, что я перезагружал компьютер, у меня сейчас не крутится, но в принципе он еще, если вы не перезагружали компьютер, то у вас должен быть крутиться здесь
Ну да, загрузка,
да.
так скажем.
Вот. И, соответственно, чтобы продолжить процесс, если у вас прервалось, вы снова запускаете весь этот, но здесь вы меняете вырезу, меняете путь не к первоначальной модели, а вот к последней из вашего списка, который получилось вот этого, то есть 0, в данном случае там будет 0,40, например. То есть это последняя эпоха, которая была сделана. И тогда вы начинаете тренировать как бы с этого снапшота, в смысле с этого среза модели, вот, и дотренируетесь. Таким образом, вот, если у вас проект, таких может быть десяток таких у вас папок, у вас каждый раз будет создаваться новая папка автоматически, следующий, как вот, собственно, здесь вот, например, у меня вот 2 папки сейчас находятся. Вот, и у вас, соответственно, будет постепенно нарастать, как бы, и у вас будет самая последняя папка и самая последняя модель будет, собственно, с вашей лучшей формой.
Вот, я теперь поняла. Спасибо большое.
Okay. Actually, maybe for I don't, maybe you can see this. I put here in our infobox data sculpture doc. I put streams from the YouTube from our Zooms in YouTube. And if you need to see again our workshop sessions, and maybe for better conversations and chats, we can I create the Discord for these reasons and for these papers, and maybe you can go here, who would like to go here, and maybe it's better to share together the questions and some materials or some ideas, tips, and so on. And it's better than the email. Okay. Let's go forward. Today, maybe someone have a question, Elsa?
Yeah, I can see that few guys joined, so maybe we can ask again. Did anyone manage to train their models? Do you have you started running the models? Do you have any problems with that, or do you have any results already? No? Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, Ed, you showed the link. That's where we can share.
Okay.
Questions and answers. Want to?
Okay. Let us forward, and today we are going to create our 3D model from the images which we created via style gun, and as this is the previous of the one of the what can be created. it's not so, as I said before, a little bit small time to create a good um, uh, um, and detailed images from the style gun, but it will. I think it's very important to go through the whole pipeline to show you how you can create and convert started from the Google's Earth Engine satellite images to the data sculpture for this we can use what we can. It's how we it's little how it can be in the end of this day, but I show you how we can go to this result. And today we will use After Effects to prepare the data set image sequence for the monolith. And the Rhino and monolith and it's not so, and I think it's not so, will be not so difficult. Before we start, I just going to say that just a moment. Yeah, I'm going to show the one things which I tested this night. It's another way to. Actually, I'll show you that how we can that actually there was questions about how we can use the one images one map like this one. It's slope of the elevations and it's landscape, but not landscape by itself. I mean, it's a degree of the slope. It's mean black is
Flat.
black is huh? What?
Black is flat.
Flat, yes. White is extremely
Steep.
Yeah. Thank you. And actually, maybe it's for do this. I actually also use QGIS. It's a software for geospatial analytics. Maybe it's will be too many tools in one workshop, maybe. But actually, I believe that better tools which you understand. And if you know the some tool, you better to use them than other if it's give you a result which you would like to which we would like to have. But actually, I can show the briefly how it works. And if you would like to more information about this pipeline, I maybe after, if you will have time, I'll show you how it's work. But briefly, I go to this. I use this. Just a moment. I use this. This layer from the street, and just a moment. and it's interesting that it has it's give information about terrain and elevation, but you can use you cannot use just an elevation like this one, but actually you first of all you have if I remember exactly about this one. Yes. This is a layer of elevation. Yes, it's about a layer of elevation, and it's like a terrain. And but in Google Search Engine, they have a function to create to calculate slope from the information about elevation, and this is this function which creates this, and it's create this this kind of terrain, and I use export code snippet which you can find in the in Google Search Engine. And after the when I download the image, huge image, about 6,000 to 6,000 pixels of the terrain, but it's creates this code creates not image like we understand that PNG or JPEG. It's creates a GeoTIFF, and to work with the GeoTIFF, simple to use free software, QGIS. You can download it by free, and this is a and this moment it's open. That could be open. Yeah, and it's created a GeoTIFF file. It looks like a usual TIFF, but it's not a usual TIFF because you don't see anything like this one. It's look like something goes wrong, and you don't understand why it's not work correctly for you. You don't see the slopes as you see in the as you can see in the map, but actually this is a yes, but yeah, but you can yeah. And when it's started, QGIS started, you can open this GeoTIFF file inside there, and here you can see that it's shown correctly, but in the not usual projection of the Earth, and then you need to usually make apply another projection, but it's just for view. And after that, you need to convert this GeoTIFF file, which you inside the QGIS into the PNG. And after this, when you create a PNG file like this one, and it's a file after the huge file after the QGIS, you need to a little bit crop this to the choose the format which you can split to the images 512 to 512 and this resolution like 5032. It's not so important because it depends on the amount the size of the image. And after that, you can go to after that you need to split it to the several images. In this case, you can make a grid with cell with the resolution 512, and it's about 121 images. And but you need to split this out, and for this I create a small Google Club file, which you can use too. I moved it to our folder, and this is a small collab folder which able to I download 3 files, and because of that you need to make split all of files. Maybe if you are if I downloaded more files, you need to download split many files, and because of that I created algorithm to split so many files to many split pieces.
Many tiles.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and actually you can use this too. After that, I actually for me it's one of the my best collab algorithm, because of course I'm not a coder. I said before, and I usually use visual code languages like Grasshopper, 4V, something like this. And for me, it's unusual to both work with code by text code, but it's was not so hardly, and I created this one, and it is split to the files, and in the result we have the create the files. This is 3 these files. This was as the initial state, and after the splitting, there was tiles, which is the pieces of the huge images, and it's have already it was about 400 images, and it's good for the training this number of the images. And I started, and after that I will start to train by how in usual way how we seen before, and actually now it looks this session, this current session happened currently, and this is the last snapshot of the model. How we can see it's not so good, but it started to be closer to the income images. Okay, just small additional information, and if you have maybe if you would like to know more about this process, I go through this.
Yeah, Ed, maybe it would be good if you can share this code, so it will be easy for guys to split the maps if they want to.
Yeah,
it's something we've been talking about yesterday, that you can have even like, I don't know, 10 images for 10 years, but then you can split it into a big number of tiles, and then train your model on that, and that will kind of still will have an interesting result.
Yes, I'll put it inside there. Yes, and I copy this folder, copy this file to our okay. No, it's inside our Google Colab notebooks, and go to the let's go to our images which we need to prepare. For this session, I create several upload several data sets, and I make a steps which we steps for our data sets. The first one, as this was data sets from the Google's Earth Engine, and you can use them, and this one, second folder, it's GAN images which was generated which was generated by our model. You can use this one, and you need to download from the Google Drive to your computer to use it. And we have a third folder for the preparing of the images to Monolith, and have already prepared someone, but we during this day we create a new one, and we have a model. Funny, we don't have the file. Just a moment.
Just to be clear,
yes.
Files called Amazonians. That's Amazonia images, so that's Las Vegas images.
Yeah. Just one. What else?
I'm just, у тебя вот этот подготовленные файлы, которые там Амазония, или все-таки Лас-Вегас?
Actually, I don't remember this because I Actually, I made some mistake with the naming, and actually, you need to see it's again. I thought it's actually can be. It's very. Um, just a moment. I will preview. This is Las Vegas.
Yeah, this is Las Vegas.
Yes,
Okay,
and
good.
it's, okay. This one, but this actually, I think in this Earth Google Earth Engine data sets, it's for correct naming.
Okay.
But maybe I just see the gun images naming. Okay. This is should be Amazonia, but it's what is? It's not Amazonia. It's
No,
Las
it's Las
Vegas.
Vegas. Okay. But you can rename it now, right? Because it's going to
Yes.
screw up your code. У тебя ничего не поменяется, если ты сейчас перепишешь?
Las Vegas. Okay. Because if I have already download this to my computer, and how it should how actually I can take I can run the maybe I can run the last last generation. I create last generation of the from the last my model, for example, and maybe we can just use the new data set. It's not just it's not should take more time, many time. Just one minute. And you can see the again how it works. I'm sign up to Google my Google account to join with Google Club. Елизавета, нам что-то пока все понятно или что повторить?
Ну, сейчас то, что все понятно, просто единственное, что вы вначале рассказывали, я, наверное, потеряла связь, почему вы, наверное, открывали в Кугисе.
Кугис, потому что мне нужно было перевести геотип файл, потому что он сохраняется как геотип, а геотип, он будет выглядеть у вас вот такой, то есть он неправильно, вы будете не видеть неправильные цвета в нем, пока это геотип. И вам нужно этот геотип перевести в обычное изображение. И для этого я там использую QGIS. Я не показывал все шаги, которые нужно было там сделать, скорее просто показывал как бы некие общие этапы.
Ну, я поняла, да. Все тогда. Спасибо.
Okay. I can go to our Google Drive to copy the path to my last model. It's here. As I said before, it's important if you to use the structure. Important not for this is not to understand what's happened. I mean that that you if when you create a structure like this one from the file from the notebook, you see the good structure, data sets, model, my model, results. It's better to understand what's happened and find your path which we need. And I need to go to my models because last one in my models, and I see it's the last notebook snapshot of the gun is this one file. I copy and paste the
New path.
New path and run this. It just take about 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, and I can test to one image just for testing to understand that it's correctly uploaded. Yes. Now it's look like this one. It's it's not so perfect, but I don't have another one. And we can go to the last block of the cells, and we can create the new folder for our result. And I usually create a I usually give a name to the folder for the frames as a name of the animation, because of this was epoch 40, I and step 1 in step 0 in our session 0 in our training. I put this name here and give the name of the animation like this one, and just should be this one. And this animation file will be have the same time as the folder for the frames. For me, it's more more understandable after the time when we found it in your folder. And it's great the images, and I use the image 30 images and the 10 stamped in each for each interpolation, and it's create images, 7 images. And it should you can find it in your result folder. This is my result folder, and I can see that you you can see the folder with the images. Which you can download. And the animation was uploaded too. I'm going to see the preview, what is happening. Now it's happening something like this one, something strange. But okay, I download to my computer this folder, and maybe I just not okay.
And Ed, just to confirm, just to clarify, so this is the results of your Las Vegas model.
No, it's not like Las Vegas model. It was the
was a starting
slopes.
So this one is just a slope. It's okay.
Yeah. Let me just here. Put it here. And of course, you need to extract the file, and she just sees there all of the file here. Okay, but just for example, I can upload it too, just to have for fun for you here, and here. Just a moment. I missed the file. Sorry. Just my local files. It's here, and no, it's here, and I'll upload it to download. But we will start with the first images, just to understand. You can open the After Effects. Who have the After Effects, and maybe you can just
maybe just raise your hand so we know who has After Effects, or just
if you don't have, maybe you can, of course, you can have the other software, but for me,
I can
you
see Laura has
no one.
Nilofar. No. There's some people have Laura,
Okay.
Nilofar, Olivia has. Елизавета, есть After Effects или нету?
Есть.
Есть. Ага, у Елизаветы тоже есть. Остальных, по-моему, нету.
Елизавета, вам пока понятно то, что я сейчас делал? Я просто создал нам новый датасет просто из того, что у меня уже накопилось.
Да, но я так поняла, что вы его создавали по той же методологии, как мы это делали вчера в конце.
Да, ровно то, что просто повторение, по сути. Да. Окей. I just start from new project. Okay. If you never work with the After Effects, it's a video editor from Adobe, and it's most of the simplest video editor, and I usually work with it, and you can see there if you have a last version of the Adobe After Effects, You can see here the several windows, and we need a project window with a tab project. It should be open, and we can click right click to the window, go to the imports and multiple files. Multiple files, that means you can upload a sequence of the files. You can render of sequence of the file from the 3D editor, maybe from the Blender or from someone else. Or you can just create import the other multiple files like we have. And you can you have to find your files like this one, and just click on the first file and check that PNG sequence it was checked, and that check the create composition. It's need for the creating composition automatically after the sequence will be uploaded to After Effects, and click import. You just need to close this menu and create, and you can see that it creates the two items. First item is the first item is your sequence from 0 to 299 frame. It started from 0, and the composition, which you can see here. Which you can see here, you see the composition window with the line of the sequence, which was added automatically to this composition. And you can drag the pointer and see what is happened here. What we would like to, what I need to prepare in this case. First, it actually depends on your idea of the model, because if I go here after I think I need to something. I would know that how it's monoliths create the 3D object. It's create it will be create during the sequence of the images, and black it's empty, and white it's volume, and you have to, and after that you something some gray colors you can threshold for the creating for creating the volume. And understand of this, you need to think about what you are going to prepare. For example, maybe I don't want to see the box, and because of that, maybe I need to create some Otherwise, just a moment. Something. Broke. Just a minute, because it takes time. Yeah. For example, I don't want to see the border of this box, and it will happen when if something white colors will be on the near the border. For this one, I can, for example, I can create the circle map. I'm going to map of these images. For example, I'm going to use white map, and I can go to this top menu and change the to ellipse tool.
So you're basically creating the mask to crop your image.
Just, yeah. For this, I can, as for simple, just it's just I will show you several examples of the ways you can use for the for preparing. As a you can create a map. Of course, you can make your map, your mask like this one. I don't know why you need this one, but you can. Or to create the circle map, circle mask, I just clicked, make it to click on this icon, ellipse tool.
Well, for example, we can use the mask if there is something if your image is showing something wrong, like kind of a wrong data, like, I don't know, you're looking into the urban growth and it shows you topography, for example, somewhere. So you can just mask it out and you can exclude it from your from your model.
I agree. For example, if you would like to select the special place, you can just select the footage, your video layer, this one, and create the select pen tool, create and some maybe you need to this area and just for example, if you do delete mask, you just click on the arrow and delete the mask. Okay. After that, I understand that our image is not so not have good contrast, contrast, and for this one I can use some effects to make to adjust curve. And for this one, for this, I am going to the effects and presence, and just make curve and see the color in color correction group curves. It's who are working with the Photoshop. I think you know this tool, and here I can create something with this. Or another way, I can, but it's not so, make two maybe it remove all of the dynamic it's not so good here. But and or maybe we would like to find an age between the black and white, and for this one you can use some effect like find age, like this one. You need just drag into the layer and see this one. Maybe you need to create. We are going to create some, walls, borders of the areas. But as you can see, it started to be black and white. But white, it's but for us, better to have white border and black fill. And for this, I can use just invert and invert inverting images.
Well, this one is actually quite visible already. Now we can see something happening.
Yeah,
which is good.
Yes, and actually, it's just for example, of course, you can make your own composition of the effects which you need to prepare the image. So you need, of course, you need to understand your idea, and after that, think about what you need to use for the preparing to this. And okay.
Елизавета, пока следите, в смысле, пока все понятно?
Да, только у меня получается вопрос, то есть нам нужно, чтобы изображение было контрастным, да, и мы его делаем черно-белым, правильно?
Ну, она черно-белым, да, она влётся, да, она черно-белая. Вы контрастно, то есть черное это то, что не будет, то есть то, что будет пустота, белое то, что будет. Что-то посередине серое, вы там будете определять с помощью трэш-холла, то есть вы будете задавать трэш-холл. Поэтому, если у вас будет размытое изображение, тоже нормально. Вот. В данном случае эффекты Find Edge и Invert помогли нам найти какой-то более точный рисунок вместо шума.
Спасибо.
And after we remove the noise from images and actually can add some. Actually, sometimes you can use after this blur. Just yeah. Sorry. Like a Gaussian blur. Why I can use it for use it, because if you have a little bit blurred images, you can use a threshold to inside the monolith to adjust position of the border, because black is always it's empty. But if you select something inside in average in between the black and white, you create a new border.
Yeah, you basically have got a little bit more flexibility if you blur your image, because you can tweak the threshold input.
After that, you can
control your shapes.
Okay, thank you. And after that, if you think that this image is okay, we can you can render to the PNG sequence. For this, I click on Ctrl plus M. Ctrl plus M, create a task for rendering in a render queue. And I need to select the format. For this, I select I click on lossless. Change format to the PNG sequence. Okay. And change the name. And change the name and the name and the path to folder for save. And to understand what is about, I just select. I create the new folder like this one. Go inside and create a name with the hash. Don't forget this one because it's gives a number of the frame. And click save and click on the render. It should took not so much time because it's not so big resolution, and the effects not so powerful. And I can go to the Monolith. Actually, before this, I just I just say that Monolith is actually it's a very cool tool which was created when he created guys as Andy Payne, and actually it was created a long time ago. It was created in 2016. And actually, they're interesting small story then, because actually it's a they created tool for it's an independent tool, and after that they create a plugin for Grasshopper. But they made it in the same time when we create own volumetric render engine. And in this time they create engine to work with the volumes too for the architects, and we created tools for the analytics. And it was in the same time. We don't know about together, and I just when we created first version of our software. I found that this guy and this tool was exciting. And it's if you see the Monolith Vimeo, you can find the very impressive visualization of the tool, not the Grasshopper plugin, but their they own separate tool. I think it's for really was very cool for us as a tool and as our user interface. For me, it's very important too. And but it's not but the last version of the Monolith was just about I didn't see the time, but actually it's about several years ago, but it works, and yeah, I think it's cool that we can use it. About this tool, about this instrument, I don't show your all cases, and because I don't know all of and I'm not deeply inside this inside Monolith. But yeah, when thinking when I going to work with my idea to create the create architecture from the style gun, I started to see the different instruments, different tools, different softwares, and it was cool when I found that the Monolith helped me better than other tools, and it's more simple, really simple. I think it's very important. And what is how does it work? If you go to the Grasshopper, you can open Rhino and Grasshopper. I think you have already opened. You can go to the Monolith and see the many nodes which you can use for your project. We will use just several of the nodes which help to work with sequence, and just a moment. I checked that I have already put it inside our folder. This Grasshopper file.
Just a stupid question to everyone. Yeah. Do you have Monolith installed? Do you have it in your Grasshopper? Я спрашиваю, установили все Monolith, ты его начинаешь как бы показывать, а я не знаю.
Just see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, great.
За этот тоже?
Да, есть.
Опять же, если у вас появляются вопросы, спросите, потому что мы можем иногда забегать, просто чтобы, если появляется. Все ли пока понятно?
Да,
Is everything fine? No questions so far? So we can move from After Effects to Monolith, right?
Yes. Actually, I can see the render was finished, and I can see the result here. You can see all your frames.
Maybe Ed, maybe it's worth sharing all those frames so guys can
yes,
at least
actually, yeah, you can find it in the not this one, but previous one. No, here. I can this folder. You can find the folder in our shared folder. Folder
there is
3 sequence for Monolith.
For Monolith, okay. And what's the difference between two versions, version 1 and version 2?
Just my experience when with H finding and without H finding. And just actually you can just experiment with this by yourself.
Okay.
And you can find the here you can find the After Effects file. This one.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, if I find this name, I have no correct name of Monolith. Monolith.
That's fine, as long as it's working.
Yes, and can put here the thirds, but it's very similar. It should be very similar to variant 2. And you can open the Grasshopper file, this one, or just start it from scratch. And I'll first of all show you the how does it work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you close all stuff, all nodes, hide all nodes, you can see first of all, first step is creating a bounding box for volume. Is a border of your volume. For this, I used a domain box with these parameters. It just you can you can, of course, you can use your own parameters, but actually I show you that I show you why I used this one. I mean that why I create just bounding box, not a cube, but the box with the highest and not high less than the
so the height of the box is actually not as the base, right? So you're saying that the height should be should be smaller than the base.
Yes, it should be smaller. It's because we don't. I show you because we need to batch our. We have to create a batch of the volumes because it's too many to create a volume from the 300 frames or maybe more. And
so you're saying that the height of the bounding box is related to the number of images?
Not so important, but I'll show you. It's actually you will see how it's joined to the batching of the frames.
Okay.
And after that, you need to create a node from the monolith nodes. It constructs base voxels. It is a box with voxels with resolution, and just you can because I suggest to use small numbers for start for testing, like 100 or around this value, because it usually takes a lot of time if you try to create a volume with big high resolution like 500. I never made a I never made a volume with about 500 resolution, because it takes a lot of time, and usually my runner is broken. Next property which you need to know is channels. So you just need to use one this is a shape only, because you can use other one, but it's not with our sequence. It not works correctly. I suggest to use one. And this block creates a bounding box and volume inside the bounding box. Next part is you need to select your files. For this purpose, you create file path. It's here. And for file, you click on the right click. I think you know most of your, if I remember the profile, your profiles know about know Grasshopper, and maybe I give too many additional details. But I'll go forward. So you need to select many existing files and select all files which you would like to use. You just need to select one and click on the control of Commons if you have MacBook. Control plus A. Select all files. It's it creates a list of the path to each file. This one, because go through the whole algorithm. Yeah. So you see this you can create this all file, and this is you can check how many files you upload. Path, actually it's not file, it's path to the file by a list length. Yeah, you can see the 300 files. And after that, you need to create a batch. For example, we have 300 files, and I can create the number of images in one batch. For example, 60. It means that you have 60 images inside the box during the vertical axis, and we create we create different model 3D models for each level, for each batch. Yeah. Actually, what I do here, it's create a list of the paths. I need to create a selection sublist from the list of the files, because and for this I make this equation. I create multiply the my number of batch 0. After this, I just make
You cannot multiply by 0.
just sorry, my Grasshopper is here. Yeah. After that, I make x plus y, which actually can just I make an addition. We don't need this formula actually, and I create the range. After each point, I have to waiting. Okay. Just hold. Okay. And when I create the range from in this point, I create a list from 0 to 60, and I select list, and I need the this monolith node construct bitmap source. It placed here. And in monolith construct bitmap source. How you can understand from the name is that it takes all path and make a bitmap source as source of the images inside the standard of the monolith. And after that, I need to put I need to create from this bitmaps the loft of bitmap. It means that you need to put each image into right place, and for this you maybe use bitmap loft, the monolith node, which placed at construction at construct, and this node have two pins. First, bitmap source, which we take from the joint from the source in bitmap construct bitmap source, and pin Z, which have to have the coordination, the coordination for each layer, because we have 60 layer, and we need we can create the for each we need to create 60 coordinates. For this, we have this block, which see how many level, how many images do you have in the source, and create a series of numbers, and create range. Create number from the range by remap numbers and bounds. Okay, now we are here. We create a bitmap loft. And after that, we need to create a switch off other, disable other nodes. After that, you need to combine your voxel bounding box with your source of images. For this, I use a node which called add sources, and this node has 2 pins. One is the voxels, and I join voxel from our create voxels node with add sources, and shape. Shape in this case we mean the source from the loft, and join them. After that, I need to use this node, get channel names, which extract the channel names, and we will. It's a technical information for creating the volume and creating the slice plane. Slice planes is a good tool. You can see the slice plane here. You can take it here. Slice tools is a good tool which allow you to see the all layers in the level between 0 and 1. It's good to test and understand what happened inside the volume. If something wrong with because something sometimes happen with the mesh generator. And how I see it, if I join the voxel from add source to voxels in the get slice plane, and shape with a channel in the get slice plane. And level is a slider with level of the slice. And this node get ISO mesh is not which creates the mesh from your images. Here, this node has 4 pins, voxels. It's the same as in the slice plane and channel 2. And ISO value is this is a threshold, which I told about before. This show what the threshold, what's the value of threshold we will use to create the mesh. If I make something like a 0.2, it takes more black gray is a surface, is a curve to create the mesh.
It shows more gradient in your image.
Mm-hmm.
So if you did that blurry, if you added that blurry one,
yes,
because
of that, we used a blur to create the more gradients to adjust the volume properties like this one. And I can use this toggle for cap. It's create a cap. If you see you can, if it's necessary, you can cap your mesh. Sometimes it's not necessary, sometimes it's not. It depends on your your idea, what you would like to do with your mesh after the generation. And in the end of this process, your outcome is the mesh already. But in my practice, I found that sometimes this mesh is created incorrectly. It showed the error incorrect mesh and invalid mesh. And if it happen, you need to actually you can use this mesh, but you don't see this mesh. Actually, it's very strange situation. And for this reason, I used a small addition. I use a plugin from plugin in which called Pufferfish. Yes, to rebuild your mesh.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have this plugin, just you need to download from the Food for Rhino website, and I use this properties like a true toggle true to rebuild normals, cool unused, unify normals, and merge duplicate mesh vertices. And in most time it's work okay. We can rebuild invalid mesh. And how is and these two nodes just for the understanding what happened with the mesh. Test the mesh for closing and mesh statistics to understand what how many vertices mesh is have. And output is a mesh, just like this one. But how I said before, I create a batch, and if I'm going to bake this model into the Rhino, for this I can extract bake. Right click and on the mesh node and bake to Rhino. And actually it's not and what I'm going to do also, I'm going to move next level to the top of the previous levels. For this, I made this small piece of code which take a level and take a high of the bounding box. And make him and I give the result to the move, and I can just I need just in between the this part.
What that gives you, that allows you to copy upwards.
Yes, and if you select the next batch,
Yeah, so you can run it.
Sorry, the problem is
So that's how you were creating your endless skyscraper, right? You've
yes,
been kind
yes.
of building, so you've been moving upwards, but also been changing the batches.
Yeah, and just
you were doing it manually, right? So
yes, I do it in Monolith. Actually, it's not because it's not so a lot of actually and less the interest is that and less skyscraper has I know about 24 levels. It's not so much to create to make some optimization because you need to see what happened with the mesh because sometimes it's not has an invalid mesh and you need to think do something with this maybe change the threshold or something like this because that I don't make it script to automatically generate of the all levels of the all batch. But as you can see, you can create a mesh. Nice. And after all, and you can select next and next number of batch and bake all levels, and in that you will have the how many levels as you create. It depends on the frames which you generate and your number of images in one batch. And as you can see, the reason why I have I create a bounding box with lowest high because you need to create these levels and actually maybe sometimes and actually when you have lowest high you can see the more differentiation of the images because it started to be you can your scale of height of the vertical level and it's give your more dynamic as in one level. Very simple part actually. You can use it for your experience. After that, you just need to you just need to create a shape. After that, it depends on your resolution and mesh resolution. you need to, after that, you need to export this mesh separately each other level for each other level, or you can select all of your mesh and export to the some file to which we can be which we can be added to the Blender or another 3D model editor. For this, I need to select the file and go to file export selected, and go to your model folder. And give some name, and I used I used the OBG file, but you can actually, it depends on your prefer. OBG is just some usual file for to export in the import between different 3D editors, and after that you can go to the some file or some to the Blender or something, so someone else, and we are going to do it on at the next day. Так, мне кажется, я почти ничего не рассказывал для Елизаветы.
Переходим на русский язык. So far, guys, I think Ed would like to just repeat stuff in Russian for Elizaveta, but anyone have questions? I think, I mean, if you're good in Grasshopper, it shouldn't be that many questions. Olivia, I've noticed you have a hand raised. Is that because it's just you've been showing that you have images, or you have a question?
Sorry, I think that's from before.
From before, no problem.
Yeah, sorry, I have one question. Because I'm using a Mac, I don't know if Monolith works on Mac platform. Is there like similar plugins for that?
Actually, if you have Grasshopper, I mean, because I know the last Ryan it works with Mac.
Do you have Rhino 7?
Yeah.
Okay.
It should work actually, I think.
Okay, yeah, sure.
If you try and it's not it's not working, please say us about it.
Yeah, let us know. Maybe we'll try to figure it out.
Okay, yeah, sure. Thank you.
Okay, so now we have see the first step of our data sculpture. Just
it's Ed, I've noticed that it's like if you're moving number of batches is actually correlated with the kind of with the level you put your so you cannot really play with I mean, if someone wants to, you can change it, right? And maybe move some sort of batches which are not going after it. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that you have first batch, you have second batch, you have third batch, and they're all kind of moving upwards, one after another sequentially. So you cannot really move them in the different move them around. You need to play with the moving part of your script. Эдик, я к чему говорю? То, что у тебя на каждую ступень повышается вот этот батч. Его невозможно, допустим, подвинуть батч с конца, соединить его с началом.
Yes, reason of that is because actually it's like an animation, and actually if you can move and do something with the layers, with sorting of the images for the batching, but actually the interesting that the animation which you create from the gun style gun has good, interesting quality. It is looping, and last frame is similar to first frame.
Oh, really?
And because of that, you can smoothly move through your sculpture endless.
Okay.
Для Елизаветы, получилось ли у вас с Monolith открыть в тот файл гроскоперский? Или вы с нуля делаете?
Это, так скажем, после я буду сидеть делать. Я пока внимательно слушаю, пытаюсь вникнуть в это во все.
Хорошо, да, хорошо. Да, там есть, собственно, файл, который там скинут, в общем-то, ровно такой же. Вот. Важно здесь несколько моментов, что вы должны задать, собственно, файлы через вот... Вы с Grasshopper работали?
Да, я как бы, в принципе, логику всего поняла, просто, может быть, вы про монолит чуть-чуть не...
Да, ну то есть здесь просто несколько шагов тогда, то, что касается монолита. То есть вы сначала создаете, через bounding box создаете пустой объем через этот нод. Через этот нод вы создаете серию изображений внутри монолита, которая по тем путям. То есть у нас есть разбиение на куски, то есть у нас 300 изображений, но мы слишком их много для того, чтобы сразу одновременно сделать модель целиком. Поэтому мы его разбираем на куски через эту штуку. И, по сути, сюда направляем просто уже 60 отдельных, 61, в зависимости от того, что здесь указано. И далее мы создаем, вот через эти ноды создаем уже сам объем, а потом он преобразуется, вы можете его посмотреть, протестировать с помощью вот этого инструмента, протестировать, что там вообще внутри лежит. Просто
это то, что вот эта плоскость, которая у нас двигалась, правильно, внутри.
Да. А это создает, собственно, вот эта часть создает, собственно, как раз mesh.
То есть толщину, грубо говоря, вот регулируем за счет вот этого параметра.
Да, если тоже я определяю, на каком оно цвете режется, срезается, на светло-сером, на темно-сером, на каком. Отсюда ближе к нулю это, значит, более темный серый срезается.
А ближе к единице светлый делаем.
Вот. Дальше вот этот кусок это связано для того, чтобы создать уровни, разные уровни. Вот. А вот здесь я использую плагин для Reveal Mesh для того, чтобы если у нас сломанный mesh генерируется, иногда так делается, и вы ее не можете, увидеть не можете, то эта штука позволяет ее пересоздать, и чаще всего у нее получается сделать. И, в общем-то, на самом деле, в целом-то все.
То есть, получается, вот мы создаем вот этот бокс, да, и, грубо говоря, это у нас получается один из уровней. Правильно,
да,
как я поняла?
Да.
И потом мы таким образом можем создавать, так скажем, башню.
Да, то есть, собственно, постепенно мы можем ее вот так вот такими макарами и постепенно наслоить друг на друга. Вот. Вы, соответственно, задаете величину, размер через bounding model, задаете размер каждого слоя отдельного и таким образом постепенно набираете. Повторюсь, это как бы даже в определенном смысле техническая штука, потому что просто по-другому он, если вы сразу сделаете весь, попробуйте весь сделать, все 300 файлов и длинную башню.
Будет очень тяжело.
Он просто, да, он просто скорее не справится на практике, в общем, не справляться.
И потом мы просто экспортируем в этот OBJ.
Да.
Ага.
То, что можно, соответственно, уже использовать как отдельные.
Ну да, сейчас вот глупый вопрос. То есть, предположим, если вот мы создали эту башню, да, ее желательно экспортировать как один объект или вот все-таки...
Что я делал по-разному. Это зависит от того, что там с ним будет делать. Для того, чтобы еще маленький момент связан с тем, что если вы хотите делать, в общем, если вам нужна замкнутая поверхность, чтобы делать булевые операции с ней в будущем проводить, то вам нужно сделать вот здесь toggle cap, сделать true, потому что он был замкнутый объем, каждый из этих объемчиков был замкнутый. Тогда можно будет использовать булевые операции для того, чтобы работать с ними. Или, ну, как бы, но этот на самом деле просто помнить, что этот кап дает дополнительные полигоны, что делает модель больше.
Спасибо.
Окей. Okay.
Any more questions? Just.
Yeah, I have. I got a bit lost on how you got that. How it looks now. Like, do you hit bake, and that's how the object looks like that now, or
just in the perspective you can find the several different kind of shaders.
Okay.
And nothing else.
Sorry.
Yes, just to understand what is happening. Because Rhino 7 has good shaders.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Sorry, I just got lost in that step. Thanks.
Like this one. Okay, and actually you can as you if you of course you can use a render inside the Rhino and materials inside the Rhino, but actually because the actually it's just my feeling that I don't understand, and it's not for me. Rhino is not a good platform for create beautiful images. I use a lot of other instruments like Blender, other softwares to create this, and I'll show you some principles in the Blender which you can use to create own things, because I think it's just a skeleton of your last object, and you can use materials and some deformations like a Boolean operations to try to find some new property of this volume to highlight some interesting quality of this volume. Maybe actually maybe it started. Maybe something more interesting to see in the other
projections, points of view. One interesting thing which you used in your data models is taking section, like a vertical section, and looking at that section through time, again creating animation.
And actually, if I said before, if you would like to work with the Boolean operation, it's very important part is you need to use a toggle true to cap your mesh, and it's create a close mesh, which can be go through the processing of the Boolean operation, like in intersection and something like this. Or sometimes you don't need this, and you can use just without cap. Cap gives additional vertices in the mesh. Sometimes in the when you have mesh with a lot of vertices, it's started to be difficult to make some operation in 3D editor, and because of that, you need to think about what you are going to do with this. Katya, you like to say something?
Yeah, well, sorry, I'm just playing with my model. It's really cool. Yeah, I'm just thinking that because we didn't have enough time to train the model for a long time, it's actually each image is fairly kind of lookalike, and so it's in a way your tower currently you see it's fairly repetitive in terms of so it's not really transforming like we expected to. But I guess once you will, first of all, you will have to have the input images which clearly shows the transformation, like the kind of something changing, right? So they would look different from each other. And then obviously you will need to train your model for enough time so they will grasp this kind of change and they will show it a little bit better.
Totally agree, yes.
But otherwise it's, yeah, you can play a lot with these different projections and animations.
Actually, we can see the what happened with our training because it's in processing. I can see the yes, here. It should be here. Maybe something goes better. Just I need to check it. Epoch 50. It looks like it looks more. It looks better. I think this moment. It is Amazonia part. And we can for training we can generate some images now from here and try again. So actually it's not so it not takes a lot of time. These images from the snapshot of the model from the slopes. It started to be better too. But
yeah, it will be quite cool to see which kind of topography it creates.
Can I ask for this kind of like images? Is it absolutely necessary like to increase the contrast, or can you leave this kind of more shades of gray as well?
Yes, you can use the initial grayscale and contrast like here, but actually just for maybe just because you just need to select the right threshold is here when you use not so contrast images.
Yeah, I'm looking into your images, Ed, and I think it's even better if you have like a better kind of wider gradient of wider range of gray in grayscale, because it's easier to control the shape. You know, if you want to highlight something which is very hard to see, you still it kind of still keeps that data, whilst if you make it too contrasty, it just disappears in your image. But I have another question. Do you think the problem of working with satellite data is that it has this kind of different contrast because of the different weather conditions have been taken? So you can see that some images are like really dark and really black, and it's very hard to correlate, like to make sure that all images, unless you will make it very contrasty and just keep only, like you showed, the outline, if you do that. But do you think there should be some sort of a little bit of filtering through,
I think
taking out the black, the very dark images or something?
I think it's I think it's we have 2 points here. First of all, it's the quality of the satellite images, because when we explore the collection of the satellites, we found that most of them have very noisy images, and actually noise more than the meaning. I mean, the object which we would try to find in the satellites, and we can find it by our eyes. But when you see the images in white range,
Black and white, yeah.
Yeah, it started to be noisy.
Disappear, yeah.
And I found the one satellite which showed the 3. Just a moment. Maybe I have this one here. I think yes, this one. This is a satellite. Just I show the forest, non-forest areas. And it's interesting that it has 3 indexes, 1, 2, 3. First, I just need to say, first is forest. Second, non-forest. Is third, water. If you are going to find, for example, for forest degradation, you can make a gradient like this one. This one maybe. Okay. It's a white, and other 2. It should be black. And give them your super contrast images. But the problem is that it not have a lot of. It's just not so wide range time.
Yeah, so there's no gradient there. No, are you talking about time?
It's
it's a short session, mission.
Yeah, just 10 years. It's not so a lot. Actually, it shows that changing, and you can try go with this and try to work with it. But actually, it's if you just going to see the to one place, especially this one. No, I don't remember where we.
We were in Brazil.
Okay, Brazil. It is should be something less here.
Mm-hmm.
But if you just would like to training on the some one location, not many location, you just have 10 images. It's too. It's not
Not
fine for
enough.
the training.
Yeah, but that's why we were saying that you can, like with your topography, you can break it into images.
Yes, it's can be two, but if you would like to, but you when you make something like this, you don't. It's good. It's difficult to control the time inside the inside the style gun.
Okay,
and
so the
actually
sequence can be broken.
Yeah, for them it's look like a lot of different images in one place. It shows green in other not have a green, and in general it will be like just some animated images. It's good. It will be contrast, good animation, but it not show the history of the place. Because of that, I tried to find a satellite with a lot of images in time for one place, for one location. But I don't find. I didn't find this, and maybe you need to because a lot of collections and maybe someone else find something for this reason for this idea to collect the one location through the time. But actually, but actually, they're interesting that you can don't use. You can actually you can don't use the don't use style gun and just explore images from here. Use it in Monolith. You just download the images like from this area. Maybe
yeah, just save them in a sequence and
yes,
you will have
like a sequence.
more dynamic. I
yes.
think we added one more step and we made it a little bit more complicated because we wanted the system to train and to understand the principle of how things like growing or falling apart and etc. But yeah, you can be, if you want to have more clear visualization of something, I guess as with everything, you need to start from kind of simple steps. And
yeah, it's possible, and actually, but actually, it's absolutely similar to our idea of our Top Cube software, which allows to create a render. Actually, it's not create a mesh, but it's create an image of the volume with location and time, as we try to make in mesh via the Monolith. If you are going to use just a sequence of the images from the satellite without any kind of processing, but it's possible. I think it's for analysis. It's a real good idea. Okay, maybe someone have a question, or I can just try to create images from the one of the last one was the last hour snapshot of the model, maybe from the Amazonian, which was.
Laura had a question.
Yes, sorry. Once we have like one level done and we want to do like a second level or three, what do we have to do so they stay?
You just need to change the number.
Yeah. You just literally need to move this slider number of batches. And one thing you need to insert a little script, which Ed showed. It's about moving. It's very loud here. And
this one, yes.
Yeah, this bit should be inserted because in the script he shared, that was sitting on side.
Yes.
So you have to insert it into your script, and then literally it automates. So once you're moving to the next batch, your tower moves up and refers to the data in the next batch. If you move to the batch next to the next one, it moves again and refers to the data in the sequence again.
Actually, I can update the update the Grasshopper file in our shared folder.
Oh yeah, that would be great. Thank you.
This I forgot this side that I not make this. Okay. It should work correctly now. Okay, I'm going to make new images from our Amazonian location. My models, Amazonian, this one, and this this model. Okay, it's already uploaded. You can see the images from here, and now I create the I'll take the name. Name. This was 64, and change the folder here to sorry. A little bit annoying part to remember what you need to do with the path, but it's important. I'm creating the images. How I see when you have all properties, so it's not so take a lot of time to create new one and test in a new model. It has already done. And I just need to find it in my Google Drive. Results. Here, if I remember exactly. Yes, this one. And download it to my files. It's preparing a file, and you I can see the preview of the animation. It started to be more interesting for me.
I think maybe from those images, I don't know if you guys want to, let's say after we finish for today, you can still play with, if you don't have your sequence of image, you can play with this one, and you can choose the fragment which you like, and which kind of makes sense, or I don't know, be a little bit playful with this material, because I guess with if you manage to install Monolith and open Grasshopper, it works very similar. It's very straightforward, but you can be really playful with that.
I uploaded it to our folder too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, this one, and I upload to our folder. And I can use I would like to import files from these images. This one. But just say that it's not have some.
It's still downloading, right?
Yeah. I changed the name to understand what exactly I upload, and I see. But actually I have the problem with some. I don't know why. Maybe something.
Maybe they haven't been downloaded yet.
Maybe. Okay, but it's not so important.
Yeah.
I just crop it, cut it, and
yeah, just delete them.
and you can see these images. Very strange, but started to be something interesting. It has some smooth animation, and what's actually give us during the interpolation style gun. Like maybe I can add a curve effect. To give an additional contrast. and I can try to use H2. In this case, I think it's not good enough. Maybe we can just use this kind of images just with the highest contrast. This one. I create a sequence, PNG sequence. Create new folder for this sequence. And render it. I can go to our Rhino. I just want to hide the layer with first our test and create new one file path node and select many existing files with
And I have a quick question. I've tried to choose the directory. It didn't work. Is that so?
You couldn't work with the directory. It's just select the path of the directory without a file.
Okay.
File path.
So it's not referencing to files in a folder. Okay.
Yes, you need to go to the select many files and select all files.
All the files, yeah.
And it creates a list, and in this case you can create the list of the files. I just replace the path for all algorithm and see what happens. Now it's look like noisy, but maybe you can use the threshold to
reduce it.
It's reducing, yes.
Because quite big threshold, maybe. So.
Maybe. Status. No. Actually. Yeah. Yes. It's remove a little bit noisy, but actually still noisy. But maybe it's what you would like to see. It depends on your idea. I think I like this interior view, for example.
Yeah.
Actually, we can try to use some other reduce noise by blur, maybe by blurring with smart blur. Sometimes this give us a chance to reduce some noise. And maybe contrast could be after that.
That's good.
And actually, interesting. Maybe we need to invert the images to no. I'm going to no. I think it's not. But you can try and. I can try to render this and let's see the result. But I need to create a new folder. For example. But of course, it's interesting to actually, in our case, we see that we are working more in visually with nature of the satellite images rather than with a landscape, actually, because we don't to find the and we need to find the or prepare with some filters effects of satellite to find interesting
dynamic or
dynamic.
transformation. Mm-hmm. I'm actually quite curious to see how this one would look with this filter.
Actually, I can go to the right and already because it has already create first frames. I can select them. Just create some layers and
Yeah, but I think you can already see some sort of shapes, like shape of the river. Maybe if you will reduce contrast, no, increase contrast. No, not in the image.
Okay, I'll try.
Your threshold. If you push it to here.
Actually, you can find the river, but actually this
Yeah,
is
I can see the river. That's the river. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we find the river. Okay. We can use maybe see the next batch.
But
No, so actually, focus is about more about the noisy than the.
Yeah, we have to think about how to make it, how to deal with the noise. Maybe just by cropping. Oh, that helps actually.
But it's just it shows the yes, it's better because you I cap the holes, and it's better to see the volumes. Actually, they're interesting. And actually, helpful to have a higher resolution. But how say before, don't try to use so big resolution because it's crash your computer.
Yeah. But I can see it's kind of a labyrinth already through your 3D sculpture, so you can even have some sort of video moving, flying through, and etc. So I think it would be interesting maybe tomorrow to hear from you guys. If you have any ideas, what would you like to do with these 3D sculptures? How would you like to present them? Is that
and explore
do you want to slice them, or do you want to and work with them, I don't know, with sections, or if you want to do animation and fly through, or do you want to work with different scales, like almost like a yeah, large scale, and then zooming in and just looking into the smaller texture and smaller resolution, playing with resolution of these maps and starting from a very kind of blobby and abstract and then making it sharper and sharper. Yeah, just play with those images on maybe on every stage. Also, by all means, because models are still kind of growing, they're still running, so take the latest, like Ed did, take the latest GAN models and then extract images. Yeah, just try to, I think tonight or tomorrow is this time to really, whilst you already understood the principle and the process, just it's time to play with that truly. So yeah.
Okay, I think maybe someone have a question. Да, Елизавета тоже, может быть, что-то сейчас было непонятно, мне сейчас повторяли, в принципе, но может быть.
Ну, мы, в принципе, мы просто это экспортнула еще раз
Да, я
имиджи,
поняла,
их
да,
обработал. Очень много вот этого шума в снимках. Но это просто хорошая, интересная как бы задачка, да. И я просто попросила ребят, что как раз когда уже сейчас инструмент более-менее понятен и вся технология понятна, может быть, сейчас как раз возможность есть на любом этапе поиграть с этими данными, то есть либо, ну, в зависимости, что более всего интересно, либо так на последней стадии, когда уже трехмерная модель, подумать, как ее можно обработать, как ее можно подать, вот. Либо на начальных стадиях, когда уже там, я не знаю, использовать вот эти модели, импортировать там, не знаю, имиджи, использовать какую-то другую модель, либо на стадии как раз обработки в After Effects, где можно накладывать разные фильтры и подавать эту информацию немножко по-разному.
Тоже, да, поиграть.
Да, накладывать какие-то маски, вырезать какие-то куски, которые более явные. Да, либо наоборот, вот это сейчас какой-то этот хаос производит. В этом тоже есть своя какая-то эстетика. Вот.
Я поняла вас, спасибо.
Окей. and you're creating endless. So I wouldn't call it skyscraper. I would call it like cake, endless cake.
Actually, now it's I remember me some building by Ramkuchas. Something like
I
that.
know that looks like I know what you're talking about. It looks like Dutch Pavilion by MVODV a little bit when they had these landscapes, layers of the landscapes.
Yes.
And
Exactly.
yeah, it does.
Okay, guys.
Okay.
Someone...
Any question? Maybe one thing, Ed, before we finish, maybe if you can just briefly explain what we're doing tomorrow, because we said kind of post-production, but just so guys have better understanding.
We are going to use Blender to create work with this model. I'll show you how we can create some beautiful shaders, beautiful materials for rendering, and you can, of course, you can explore new one and create your own shaders and think about how we can modify this these volumes with the maybe section, maybe try to find the interesting point of view to this and create the maybe fly through this volume and create the and outcome should be some images and or animation, but if you have the computational computational value to create animation, and actually they're interested to try to find the in this dynamic transformation some new level of meanings, and this is the last session for creating, and the next one at the on the fifth day it will be a presentation of your ideas, your renderings, your models, your findings. Actually, you don't need to just show the. I think you don't need just to show the rendering. You can show your whole process, what you find, what you was interesting for you, and actually they're interested to see all of your materials in one presentation.
Okay. Any questions? Or all good?
And if you have questions, you can go to our Discord, and I see that someone has already joined, and ask or share the material. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much for this day.
Thank you, Ed.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was really interesting.
Good. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So see you
Bye-bye.
tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Bye.